Hello, everybody. You're listening to WECI 91.5 FM, Richmond's Public Radio. This is my Retrospective Riot Grrrl show. And tonight I wanted to talk a little bit more about the genre of punk and the history of the punk movement. Riot Grrrl came out of punk and grunge and took feminism from a punk rock lens. In a subculture that women wanted to be a part of, they were marginalized within the movement, and Riot Grrrl was an answer for some women to create space for themselves within punk and make the men that were dominating the space move back and bring girls to the front. So what I was curious about was that where punk came from itself. I read a lot about a lot of criticism of Riot Grrrl, and I'm curious, I was talking with other people about this, and my professor was even like, well, you have to think of the context of which Riot Grrrl came from. And so that's punk. And so I'm curious about what punk was and why it came out. And punk, from my research, my limited research, punk came out of frustrations of like working class after the Industrial Revolution, and within punk there were a bunch of other subcultures like dadaists, skinheads, radicals, anarchists, all kinds of subcultures put in together who all were into punk music. So Riot Grrrl, coming out of that, is important to understanding the history of the movement, coming out of the specific historical context. So I thought it would be important to look at the history of punk pre-Riot Grrrl, to look at the context from which Riot Grrrl emerged. Generally, overall, punk music came around the mid-1970s, maybe even earlier, the late 60s, reacting to the hit parade rock music scene. It was an alternative to the mainstream music industry. There were just a few options you could be a part of in the simmering out hippie scene, be a part of disco, or be a part of punk. It might be an oversimplification, but I'm going off of like my super limited knowledge of punk. So I read from this article about the history of punk by Scott Stalcup, where he said, quote, 60s hedonism has exploded in smiley faces shrapnel. The Bee Gees and disco as a musical genre emphasizing pure pleasure via antiseptic robotic rhythm ruled the charts. For those who did not wish to boogie the night away, they had the other options, to paraphrase the Sex Pistols' American tour manager, Noel Monk. Of arena rockers like Queen and the Eagles or staying home with the singer-songwriters like James Taylor on the stereo, the problem with all the subgenres was that they separated the audience from the performer in an unbridgeable distance, though no one was angry enough to do anything about it. From this, punk became a genre in which it was an all-around experience of multiple energies like anger, frustration, sadness, even boredom. Brian Cogan said in an article about the authenticity of punk that punk is seen as a virus, one that mutates constantly and resists efforts at understanding and codification. A virus self-replicating and mutating below the surface, only to unexpectedly reappear. Punk traveled underground in the same ways that Riot Grrrl did, through zines and shows. They shared their messages through underground modes. And so I've mentioned a lot through my show that I think zines and the DIY culture of Riot Grrrl, it was actually a larger part of the movement than the music was, and that DIY ethics came a lot from punk. In a way to subvert mainstream representation and culture, zines created a set of commonly used principles and graphic language, somewhat a visual representation of the music. With typos and mess similar to the noise and chaos that a lot of the bands liked to produce, the Sex Pistols said that they were not into the music, but rather into the chaos. The zines were also a way to encourage others to join the movement, to be in bands and make their own products. So in the next song, I found somebody reference this, a band called Adam and the Ants, and this song is called Xerox. It shows how the photocopier was used as a means of production and the subversion of copyright. According to Teal Triggs, their work on DIY aesthetics of punk, some of the lyrics are, I may look happy, healthy, and clean, a dark brown voice, and a suit pristine, but behind the smile there is a Xerox machine. So with that, here's Adam the Ants, Xerox.
Los
So that was Adam and the Ants with Xerox. So I've read that there are a lot of differences between American punk and British punk. There are historical arguments about which came first, and people often associate punk either mostly with American movements or mostly with British movements. Craig O'Hara, who is a big writer in the punk world, said that the New Yorkers invented the musical style, while the British popularized the political attitude and colorful appearance. There's one author that I keep mentioning, Scott Stalcup, that argues that American punk came much more from frustration and boredom of hippie culture rather than the super political stance that many British punk bands were all about. And this depends on the bands that you're looking at, I think, from what I found and what the kind of music that I've listened to and what I've done in terms of researching, but I'm not quite sure. In the argument that American punk came out of boredom and pure nothingness rather than political motivations, Stalcup uses examples of bands like the Ramones, the Replacements, and others that I'll get into today. A band like the Velvet Underground was a band that included John Cale, Lou Reed, Sterling Morrison, and Maureen Tucker, and they were the house band for Andy Warhol's Exploding Plastic Inevitable, and were actually managed by Andy Warhol. And they were super influential for a lot of the punk genre in the U.S., and they kind of epitomize what Stalcup argues is that boredom and frustration. He said that while the hippies were looking inside themselves to find meaning, people on the East Coast looked inside themselves and saw nothing. I thought that was a kind of interesting statement. But anyway, here's a song by the Velvet Underground called I'm Waiting for the Man.
$6 in my hand, up to Lexington, 125. Feel sick and dirty, more dead than alive. I'm waiting for my man. Hey white boy, what you doing uptown? White boy, you chasing all women around. Oh, pardon me, sir, it's furthest from my mind. I'm just looking forward to a dear friend of mine. I'm waiting for my man. He comes, he's all dressed in black. He wore shoes and a big straw hat. He's never early, he's always late. First thing you learn is that you always gotta wait. I'm waiting for my man. All working now.
So that was the Velvet Underground with I'm Waiting for the Man. I'm waiting for the man. Yeah. So I have a lot of music here that I wanted to play today, but I have a feeling that I'm going to run a little out of time. So I'm just going to skip over some and like save them for the end. I think that might be a good idea. Yeah, so when I'm talking about going into the history of punk, I kind of went more into the history of the music itself, a little bit into the political motivations of like some bands, but like probably not as much that's going to help me with, you know, my overall ideas. But I was really into what I've been finding with the music. So another example of the mentality of like nothingness and emptiness, Richard Hell from the band Television, and then later had Richard Hell and the Voidoids, remarked on the emptiness of their generation as the blank generation. This song is actually called Blank Generation, and people have said that it was a super influential punk song for punk in the US. But anyway, here is Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Blank Generation.
Take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time.
So that was Blank Generation by Richard Hell and the Voidoids. I've had some calls in about some cool bands. So of Television, there's a song that they were saying, I'm trying to find it, called /.dash.com, and apparently that's a good one. And Susie Quanto is a person who one of our callers says is the first person they can think of about women, women they can think of in punk. So I'm looking them up. But right now I want to play another song. Jonathan Richman was really influential for the turning point of music and taking that emptiness and like kind of making a joke out of it, turning point into punk. He was a part of a band called Modern Lovers, and this song is called Roadrunner, in which he captured the alienation of uninvolved teens in the post-1960s, feeling a little out of place with like the dying political hippie vibes that were going on. So here's the song Roadrunner by... Ooh, where is it? Oh, here we go. Roadrunner by the Modern Lovers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Run, 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 run. twice. I'm in love with rock and roll, and I'll be out all night rolling. That's right.
This is where I get a little bit into the different part that people claim about American and British punk. Punk in the UK was said to be much more political in the ways that they subvert primary modes of thought, music and media, that kind of stuff. The Sex Pistols showed in their album Anarchy in the UK that they summoned this kind of radical position where they claimed like a self-rule and like ultimate independence. So I'm going to play a song by the Sex Pistols. I'm going to play the song. I guess I'm going to play, I'm going to play Anarchy in the UK. I also have another one, but I'll play this one. So I'll play Anarchy in the UK. So here's the Sex Pistols. So that was the Pistols with Anarchy in the UK. The next band that I'm going to play is called The Clash, and they kind of set themselves as the rivals for the Sex Pistols. They formed in 1976, and their song that I'm going to play, London Calling, kind of show their annoyance with the things that London had been infatuated with, like the Beatles, rather than important things such as the problems in the city and like kind of the lack of support for people in poverty, lots of different things, issues that weren't getting enough attention in London. So this song is called London Calling by The Clash. Actually, where did it go? Well, let me get it really fast. Before I play The Clash, actually, let me play another song by a band called The Damned. They formed in London in 1976 as well, and they were a punk band with a kind of like gothic twist. They were actually cited as having the first like full-length British punk album, and this song is called New Rose, The Damned.
Is she really going out with him? Strange, like a stormy sea. I don't know why. I guess these things have gotta be. I've got a new rose, I've got it good. Yes, I knew that I always would. I can't stop to mess around. I got a brand new rose in town. See the sun, it shines. Don't get too close or it'll burn your eyes. Don't you run away that way. You can come back another day. I've got a new rose, I've got it good. Yes, I knew that I always would. I can't stop to mess around. I got a brand new rose in town. I never thought this could happen to me. Oh, this is strange. Oh, why should it be? I don't deserve somebody this great. I gotta go, or it'll be too late. I don't know why. I guess these things have gotta be. I got a new rose, I got a good. Yes, I knew that I always would. I can't stop to mess around. I got a brand new rose in town. Oh.
So that was The Damned with a song called New Rose. I got London Calling up here with The Clash. So here is London Calling, The Clash.
Boys and girls, London calling. Now don't look to us. Phony Beatlemania has bitten the dust. London calling. See, we ain't got no swing except for the rain and the crunch of thing. The ice age is coming, the sun's zooming in. Meltdown expected, the wheat is going thin. Engines stop running, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning out. another breath. London calling, and I don't wanna shout, but while we were talking, I saw you nodding out. London calling, see we ain't got no hide, except for that one with the yellowy eyes. The accident is coming, the sun's zooming in, engines stop running, the wheat is going through a nuclear error. But I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning. I live by the river.
So that was London Calling, The Clash. I really like that song. But anyway, I'm going to go back into... there are a lot of arguments about the authenticity of the punk ideology of the bands and how they actually led their lives. As an example, many people take issue that many of the bands argue against capitalism and mass consumerism, but while also being a part of major record labels. There are many other points that people find contradictory aspects of punk. Two bands that Brian Cogan argues are truly authentic in their commitment to punk ideology are the bands Crass and Throbbing Gristle. They're both radical music collectives. Crass pioneered the industrial noise sound. Penny Rimbaud, the leader of the band, became disenchanted with the British school system and dropped out to start a commune where they began having free music performances. The other members of the actual band were Andy Palmer, G, Phil Free, Pete Wright, Steve Ignorant, Eve Libertine, and Joy DeVerve. Verve sounds, I don't know how to pronounce it. Rimbaud once said that, quote, "Surely punk wasn't just music, it was a way of thought. Surely it wasn't just a fad, it was a way of being. Wasn't this supposed to be anarchy in the UK or in the USA or wherever? If the first wave of punk had become velvet zippies, it was up to us to put the record straight. We weren't going to be made into another set of marketplace victims. This time around, we're going to make it work," unquote. So that is a quote by Penny Rimbaud. And the band, as a collective, Crass, advocated for anarchism and vegetarianism while actually practicing those radical lifestyles. They handed out pamphlets at their concerts which explained those choices. And they said, from industrial sabotage to bread making, our flyers not only gave instructions on how to fight the revolution, but how to survive it with a full belly. In light of my interest, they actually made a whole album called Penis Envy, where the two female vocalists of the band headed the whole project. The album got a lot of backlash, actually, and it showed that they were trying to tackle feminist issues in the album. Here's a song from that album called Beta Motel. The lyrics of the song are really incredible, I think. They are pretty obvious that they are confronting the gender dynamics of victimizing women and the problems with power dynamics that go along with gender. So here, listen closely. Here's a song, Beta Motel by Crass from the Penis Envy album.
Little girls of about 6 or 7 were asked, what do they like to do? And then some time later, the same question was asked in a slightly different form. They were asked, what do little girls like to do?
So that was Beta Motel by Crass. I think a lot could be said for that song. I really think it's a pretty good one. Another band that people argue really lived up to punk ideology and like actually put it into their real lives was Throbbing Gristle, and they really upheld the punk ideology and mentality. They created their own record label and produced and distributed all of their own music. They were trying to do something new in punk music, taking like aggression and the DIY attitude, but using the music to truly disturb people with disturbing soundscapes, primal screams, eerie synth bleeps, and lyrics about fascism and control. An example of that can be found in their song Discipline. It's like super weird and trippy, so yeah, they can probably disturb some people with their music. In ways that performance art tests the limits, Throbbing Gristle can be seen as doing similar things, making their performances total art experiences. They did a lot with their bodies and did some cool experimental stuff. So I'm going to play a little bit of the song because it's about 8 minutes, so I'm just going to play a little bit. So this is Throbbing Gristle with the song Discipline. So that song kind of goes on with that, and it gets a little crazier by the end. So that's an example of the kind of music that Throbbing Gristle was doing. They were like really into like looking at like the body and pleasure and pain and different things like that. Another band, actually an American punk band, the Dead Kennedys, who formed in 1978 in the San Francisco area, showed in their song MTV Get Off the Air that there was a kind of bubble punk genre that was coming into play. It was called bubble punk because it was kind of appropriating punk into the mainstream to sell and become a part of like popular music. And I think I would guess that bands like Green Day would be a bubble punk band, but please let me know if I'm wrong in that assumption. Anyway, this song kind of shows the distaste for popular music that was coming around in like the 90s with that kind of like punk label, but it really didn't embody anything that was punk. It was just kind of used to sell the music. So here's the song MTV Get Off the Air by the Dead Kennedys.
video DJ. I always talk like I'm Winkle and Quayle. I wear a satin baseball jacket everywhere I go. My job is to help destroy what's left of your imagination by feeding you endless doses of sugar-coated mindless garbage. So don't create, use the cake. Be a vegetable at home and flex on that dial. If we have our way, even you will believe this is the future of rock and roll.
MTV, get off the air! How far will you go? How low will you stoop? To capitalize on my with your sugar on its road. You took that roll of blood and the patterns of nation, making sure nothing's left of the imagination. MTV, get off the MTV, get off the MTV, get off the air. MTV, get off the MTV, get off the MTV, get off the air. Get off the air. See ladies features from the public show, shake their tits and their dicks as they lip sync on screen. It's something I don't like about them, they're always wild. Rolling tights are off and some schmuck who doesn't care. MTV, get off the MTV, get off the MTV, get off the air. MTV, get off the MTV, get off the MTV, get off the air. Get off the air. Get off the air. Get off the air. So it was our beloved corporate gods claimed they created rock video, allowing it to sink as low in 1 year as commercial TV has in 25. It's a new frontier, they say. It's wide open, anything can happen. But you got a lot of nerve to call yourself a pioneer when you're too goddamn conservative to take real chances. 10-eared, graph paper-brained accountants instead of music fans. On all the shops at giant record companies now, the lowest common denominator rule. Forget honesty, forget creativity, the dumbest buy the mostest, that's the name of the game. But sales are slumping, and no one will say why. Could it be they put out one too many lousy records? MTV, get off the air, now!
So that was MTV Get Off the Air by the Dead Kennedys. And that kind of shows a little bit about some probably frustrations with like people in the punk genre in terms of how music was being appropriated in those ways. And I'll get a little bit into that about like Riot Grrrl and kind of the girl power mentality that was being appropriated in the next show. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the grunge genre that came out of punk a little bit, and it began primarily in the Pacific Northwest with the Sub Pop label, and it was really close to Riot Grrrl. Actually, probably some people would probably say that Riot Grrrl is more of a grunge genre than punk, but when you think of grunge, most would probably think of Nirvana. And Nirvana was actually heavily influenced by this band called The Replacements. They came from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the late 70s. And I was going to play a song by them, but I don't think we have that much time. So look up The Replacements. And I've actually heard that Nirvana was more influenced by Riot Grrrl than people suppose. Kurt Cobain actually dated Toby Vale of Bikini Kill and was good friends with Kathleen Hanna. And she's actually the reason for the title of the song, Smells Like Teen Spirit. They were really drunk and she was making fun of his Teen Spirit deodorant. And she wrote, Kurt smells like Teen Spirit on the wall with spray paint. So that's how that got its name. So yeah. I was also going to play some Nirvana, but I'm sure you've all heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, so take a look at that again. I thought I would mention that it's And it's super telling to me that during my research for this show, it was way easier to find music and information about these bands than it was to find any music that was a part of Riot Grrrl or female heavy punk or grunge influences. It is true that women are often forgotten in the punk scene and grunge spaces and written out and overshadowed by their male counterparts. Not just physically in the spaces at shows, but in history and representation, women are pushed out. And grunge was known for being actually like a pretty gender inclusive, pretty good balance of women involved in the bands, and they had pretty overt stances on gender equality. However, women are still written out of the discussion often. And with that, I'm going to play a song by, I played way too many male bands in this show, which is kind of probably, I just wanted to go a little bit into the punk history, but I played way too many men. So I'm going to go into the women who were forgotten in the punk genre. Actually grunge. So I'm going to play a song by Babes in Toyland called Hello. They actually probably would not want to be associated with Riot Grrrl in similar ways that Hole would not want to be, and I think I get why now. One of the main things that set Riot Grrrl apart from grunge is that outward stance on gender in music. They wanted to acknowledge their gender as being important to their identities as musicians. Like some might say they don't want to be, like their gender shouldn't be important to why they're playing, but Riot Grrrl kind of acknowledged it is important because people are putting us in a lower position because of our gender. So some musicians, like I think Babes in Toyland probably would, say that their genders is not as important for their identities as musicians. I'm going to play the song Hello by Babes in Toyland, and then also I'm going to play a song called Andres by L7, and I'm going to wrap it up with that. Next week, I hope to talk more about kind of wrapping it up about Riot Grrrl and also British Riot Grrrl, kind of like the Huggy Bear kind of influence of Riot Grrrl, and then go a little bit more into some things about kind of where Riot Grrrl went and like what kind of things were done with women in music after that, and the kind of like appropriating of the Riot Grrrl mentality of girl power in different ways, like the Spice Girls, people like that. So here's Hello by Babes in Toyland, and then Andres by L7, two all female bands in the grunge scene who were often forgotten and not considered grunge, even though they very much were. So here they go.